I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me.
And good morning and welcome back to the Crochet Crowd live here at home studio, Nova Scotia, Canada. So I'm your host, Mikey, from the Crochet Crowd, if you didn't know. And currently working on a design for later this year. And we always have to work well in advance. And I had the question in my head, can Catherine wheel stitch or a Bavarian be done in a true circle? We've always done it in a square format. So that led me to a deep quest on determining if it can be done, how it can be done, and what is the stitch work. So earlier this week, I posted a short on YouTube showcasing that I was frustrated as hell with a particular concept. And I was basically frogging, trying to make sure that this thing sits down flat, and then trying to alter some stitches to make it work. So we're seeing some of you already joining us today. Michelle, Little Miss Jennifer, Wendy, and Pam is already here this morning. So what I would like to do, let me show you the sample that I ended up coming with. So I did two samples, and the first sample, I'm not excited about it. So I have the sample here, and this is Catherine wheel stitch done as a true circle in the center, and then it transitions to a square so that it turns into a motif. It could be the center of a blanket in the future, or it could be done as a motif. I almost see this like a snowflake concept. Both of these today, I actually have the crochet diagram already done. So when I design, I do crochet diagrams, as you will see on screen, and then I write the pattern from there. So it wasn't super excited about this, and this one was not too hard to figure out. But then I thought, why not push myself a little harder and try to do Bavarian crochet in true round. We have Bavarian in our, we've done Bavarian in a stitch along. We've done, I believe, in a stitch along. We've also have some tutorials for Bavarian. And so this is what Bavarian will look like if it's done as truly as a round. Daniel says it's missing something. So what I think this could be is something potentially for Christmas. We just leave it as is and just quit the sample and then just start with something fresh and new. So what I'd like to do today is to memorialize this particular pattern so that it has its written words. In the future, Journey members on our YouTube channel will probably be able to take advantage of something like this, maybe as we do a little mini something for Christmas as an extra gift for their membership. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So it was a real bitch to figure this thing out, especially the Bavarian kind of style. Bavarian works in sets of 4 plus 1 chain. So a circle is usually 4 double crochets, chain 1, 4 double crochets, chain 1. There's always a chain 1 that separates the circles, but the circles cannot always be full. So when we come out right in the very beginning here, this Bavarian right here, that is just a partial, and it's the only way that can be done. So on screen, that I'll be coming up in a few moments for you, is that I am working on this particular pattern, and I'm trying to get this done. So as I mentioned, I diagram all my stuff out. It's the way that I think, and it's the way that I design. And what I need to do is that I need to actually memorialize this thing and put it into words. And so Journey members currently on our YouTube channel have access to the next stitch along. And so Journey members, I actually have 3 women now working through it with me, finding little stupid little errors that are just annoying as hell, from the asterisks being out of place to obviously maybe it says 1 double crochet and there's no space. People are catching stuff like that. So it will be available to the regular public in July at some point, but the Journey members already have access to the tutorials that are made. Weeks 1 through 2 and 3 are now currently filmed and ready for them. And so we're just going through all of those kind of things. Everything has been diagrammed out for that as well. So the free pattern will have the written words, and it also will have the video tutorials to happen. And then there's 16 diagrams and schematics that were made for it. Those are a paid download that I'm doing for that to recoup some of the time involved with that. So this is kind of what I have going on in my head. I see something like this Bavarian as partial of maybe a beginning of something, or it's a motif that converts into a square. I see it as very plush, something like that. I was thinking Bernat blanket, somewhere in that family of yarn, to make this thing massive. Like, how big was it? You know, it's like when you have a date with a man, how big was it? So you would, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I may be a bit of a size queen, but we won't go too far with that today. So just ask Bruce. So Bruce is joining us today. Tanya, you're here still. You're here as well. Joe retired is here. Linda. So anyway, so if you've never seen a pattern being written, it's like watching a dog lick its own balls. It can be kind of painful because you're jealous about it. Well, maybe that's my guy thing. But anyway, what I need to do is start converting this diagram that we have into words. So I always have, sometimes people find mistakes saying, I don't understand what you're talking about. So what I do is that I take an existing pattern and then I take out what I don't need from there. So right now the list of all the abbreviations are here from my last design. And so I've left them all in, I've left in the yarn. So I just got to replace information. So instead of starting from scratch, you take the last one and you alter to change it. So what I'm going to do here on screen today is that I am going to just be able to have some fun with this thing and see what I'm going to get myself involved with, and we'll make it full screen so I can see everything here on screen. And what I'm going to do is that you can tell that I've not done any of the starts or the stops. I never do that until the end. And then if you've never if you've never followed a crochet diagram, maybe you can just let me know if this is uncomfortable for you. But if we zoom in on these things, on these diagrams, you can really, you can really get a good bird's eye view of what's going on with these things. Diagrams, when they're in the round like this, I tend to follow the Yarnspirations rules of reading it in a counterclockwise position. So we'll start off here and then we'll work our way around counterclockwise. So can the diagrams be read in the opposite direction? Absolutely. And what is determining that is actually where the slip stitch is in these patterns. And so it really, you know, can be a little bit of a 200% is all I can do. So it can really be a question of where these slip stitches are. So what I need to do is that I need to make sure that when I'm writing this pattern is that the slip stitching that I've already put in for the Bavarian is going to work itself out. And then, so what Daniel thinks is missing is actually this last round. He would like to see the last round also done in Bavarian format, so that we have Bavarian one more round and then transition to whatever I want it to transition to. I actually had to frog the last section, I think 3 times, and redesign. On my programming, I keep layers, so I have the old layers that were there, so that I have reference of what I designed, but that's what we have. Yeah. So anyway, so Bruce wants to get his pencil crayons out and do that. So I don't know if Bruce is the kind of guy that would eat his glue either. So anyway, so the diagrams are really quite an art form unto themselves. I honestly think I should put one of these diagrams on a t-shirt and see if anybody knows how to read it. Actually, that might be not a bad idea. I've thought about doing something like that. And it's all about mathematics, and it's all about understanding that there's pieces of a pie. So you can see that there's 2 single crochets into the same stitch right here, and then it appears again here. It's a piece of the pie. So if you follow it straight down to the center, this is a piece of the pie. And in this case, there's 8 pieces of pie here. So I keep a kind of a general note. These red markers here that I have for counts, the customer never sees that. So I'm just doing that for design, and then those will get taken out at the end. So we're going to start off, and we're going to try to make this. Is this a stitch long? I don't even know. So we will just put motif here, and we're just going to say what color. So what I started doing in the last stitch along, that, and you can let me know if this is helpful, but I put the colors on the bottom of every page because I hate going back to the first page. What color is A? What color is B? And so what I have done now going forward is that the colors are always at the bottom here, and people want a page number. So I'm open to listening and learning. But the page number, or sorry, the colors at the bottom of the page was my own doing because I was lazy and I didn't want to flip through the pages. The study of complicated is currently 33 pages of a design, and I think that's going to be the maximum length of the design. And so I'm currently working through that as well. So yeah, so that's what we have going on. So everything is always about simplicity. The designing of writing these patterns took me years to actually be able to understand. It wasn't until I think the COVID era, and Bruce can comment to that, is that it wasn't until COVID that I actually classified myself as a designer. What happens in our field is that people suddenly write a pattern and then they self-label themselves as a designer, even though they wrote one pattern. And I felt like I can't call myself a designer if I don't understand stitch work and how it works together and how they flex and how they come together. And I felt like I needed to earn that title instead of self-titling. So there's some people in the industry that really can gravitate towards learning how to do stuff quicker than I can. But I'm very visual, and I am my mom's son after all, and it does take me a long time. So yeah. So anyway, and Dusty, yes, I'm sorry. Dusty here, Robertson, this morning was looking to see if there was an extra crochet crowd bag backpack, which I already gave mine away. Somebody really wanted it, so I handed it over. She seems like she could use a lift of spirit, just in case anybody's interested, but just be careful for online transfers of money and shipping. So she's looking for a crochet crowd blue backpack. So I gave the only one I had away, which was the prototype one. I know somebody really, really wanted it. And I said, you know what? It's probably better with them. So we're going to begin writing here, and this may be a really boring process. So one of the things that in writingforyarnspirations.com is that they have what is called a style guide, and I follow the way that they write patterns, and it's taken me years to learn and understand. So there are certain things in Yarn Inspirations patterns that if you pick up one of my patterns or one of theirs, the way that it's written is very similar to each other, so that it's easy to be able to transfer. When new crocheters come onto the scene and they decide that they're going to be a designer, what happens is that they come along and then they start coming up with new abbreviations. And the biggest and easiest mess you can make is to be too wordy or too complicated with the writing of the pattern. So what happens is that they end up adding extra words, ands and buts and twos, and with crochet pattern writing, you have to skip the foreplay and just get right into the action. There's no other way to say it. And so for myself, I was too much into the foreplay and being too wordy, and it took years to simplify myself to be able to just get right in on the action. You know, I'm not saying that's true for me on a personal level, but you know, who doesn't want to get right to the action? But for pattern writing, you need to just stay on track and to stay within the notes. One of the kind of things that with Yarn Inspirations is that it's never row one or round one. It's always first round, first row. And so in designing for and writing for ilikecrochetmagazine.com that I'm currently working with, is that they prefer row one and row two. And so each company has their own style guide in the way that they prefer the information be intact. Example of Yarn Inspirations also would be just taking a look back at the pattern here, is that one of the things that they prefer is that just call the stitch work right out at the end. Just there was 6 single crochets. There's no ands, buts about it. So we don't want to ever just spell out the whole thing, because that's why there is an abbreviation. And what happens in crochet is that the longer the pattern, the more unlikely that a crocheter is going to do it. So I know the study of complicated is 33 pages, and I, you know, you'll kill a tree doing printing that out. But there were so many photographs added to it that you can have and see that I felt it was important to have those blow ups. That's not really standard within crochet, but because it's a paid downloadable, why not get everything because it's already done right? So yeah, so we're going to get right to the down and the dirty, and some things are you may disagree with, and some things you won't. So we're going to begin. Now the first row never really includes that first chain, so we have the chain one. We're going to read this thing in counterclockwise positioning as we go. And what I'm going to do, I never put my stops and starts here. So I'm going to write it so that when I go to finish this diagram off, is that I'm going to match the words to the stops and the starts of this diagram. So with A, we're going to chain 4. We can see that there's 4 chains that are going in a circle, and there's a slip stitch there. So what I need to go is chain 4 and then join with join, see, is foreplay. Join with slip stitch to beginning chain to form ring. See, there's no foreplay. So putting the word like a slip stitch is foreplay. We have to make sure that we get rid of the stuff like that to be able to do that with. So we know what our first one is, and we're not going to change our color until we get to several rounds away. So what does RS mean? RS means right side. The right side is the project when you're physically looking at it. So if this was a motif and it was, or like a doily on your table, what you're looking at when you're looking at the doily sitting on top of the table is the right side. So that means that WS is wrong side. So this particular sample, I'm never going to turn to the wrong side. So we just indicate that first round is the right side, so that when you start this and say that you don't have a tutorial or something like that available, you know what side is supposed to be facing up. So we're going to chain 1, and we are going to the join here, we normally would say join with a slip stitch to the beginning, blah, 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 blah. But what we are doing lately in patterns is that in the abbreviations, we have the word join. So the word join here, join slip stitch to the beginning stitch or top of beginning stitch. So the word join has an abbreviation so that you can just look back and just join versus join with slip stitch to beginning chain 3, and see, so it's a choice of whether you have to say join or join with this. So if you put this in abbreviations, you never have to write all these extra words, which then makes your pattern really undoable. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. I prefer that a nice tight hole on the first rounds. And what we're going to do is we're going to say 12 double crochet in ring. And ring. And join. See, nice and simple, to the point, and then we move on. So this was round number 1. Second round. So second round, they're always bolded like this, but what I want to do is just type some crap here, get that to be bolded, and then we look at it what it is. So this is going to be a cluster stitch. And so what I need to do is that I need to define a cluster stitch, because I don't think we have a cluster here. So we're going to have a beginning cluster, or we're just going to call it a cluster. And I think we should just call it a cluster. So what I do, which you're not going to see here on screen in just a second, is that I need to go back to an old document and search my document for clusters. When did I use the cluster? And Inspired by Colored Square has apparently clusters. And I am just looking for what the cluster was. Okay, that's not it. We're gonna move back to here, a cluster. I'm looking for what the cluster is. So what we want to do is that we want to look when we define something to understand how it applies. Okay, that's not it. Cluster, cluster, cluster. I'm going to say cluster stitch. The study the journey Afghan had the cluster in it. We're just going to, what I'm doing is that I'm trying to find it so it's consistent. There we go, got it. So what I'm doing is that I'm going back to an item and we're going to say what a cluster is. The cluster from a previous document is to look back and use the exact same words and terminology so that it looks like it makes sense. So what we have here is that the cluster is actually only 3. So pull the thing and we're only going to say 3 times and it's going to be 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Okay, so what we want to do is move this up and out of the way so that we have this for the future. I'm just going to put it, I'll put it here. Okay, so we're going to say it's the cluster. And so when we look at this pattern here, let's just get it down a little bit so I can see it. So we have the clusters, there's 12 clusters. So we're going to start off and we're going to chain, or do we need a beginning cluster? I think we need a beginning cluster as well. Beginning cluster. And okay, so we're going to chain 2 and then we're going to alter this one, yarn over the stitch thing, and you're only going to do 2 times and there's still going to be 4 loops on the hook. Chain 2, so that's a loop. Just give me a moment. Yeah, 2 times, and it's still 4 loops on the hook. Is it? Sorry, I'm just testing it out for a second. So if I chain twice, yarn over it, pull through. There's only going to be 3 loops on the hook. And then if it was a regular cluster, yeah, that's going to be 4. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we get this into position properly. So we've defined, so we're going to start off with the beginning cluster in first stitch as join, and then we're going to chain 2, okay, and then the repeat starts here. Cluster in next stitch, chain 2, and then we're going to repeat from the asterisks around, and then join. And so we should actually, this is 12 double crochet, so we're going to say there is 12 clusters, 12 cluster, and 12 chain 2 spaces. Okay, So we have that. So when you have a hyphen, so if for those that are unaware, so when you have a hyphen, it means that it's a direction of a location. So if you say chain 2, it means that you're going to move your hook and make chain 2. But if you have chain 2, that's a location of telling you a location or a specific area without actually physically crocheting. So we do not say at the end of it, to give you the counts, we will not say chain 2 spaces like that, because that insinuates that you still have to chain 2. By putting in a hyphen, it's a locator. Does anybody not know that? Might be new information, who knows. So we're now going to go to round 3. Now round 3, we are going to slip stitch ourselves to the next chain 2 space. So let's just begin to do third round. So we're going to slip stitch to next chain 2 space. Do you see that it's a locator? It's not an actual chain 2. We're going to chain 1, period. And then we're going to do a combination of many things. So we have to do the first sequence completely before the repeat can actually be done. So we're going to say 3 single crochet in same space as slip stitch, 3 single crochet in next chain 2 space, period, and then 4 single crochet in next chain 2 space. So here's where the sequence will start. We're going to start and try to make it simple. We're not going to do that foreplay. So what we're going to do is that we are going to just say 3 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, and we are going to put a bracket here because I want to tell people they need to do it twice. So 3 single crochet in the next chain 2 space twice, period, actually comma, 4 single crochet in next chain 2 space. And we're going to repeat from the asterisk around and join. So this means that we're going to have a total of how many stitches? So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10, and that's going to happen 4 times. So we have 40 single crochet stitches. Again, nice and simple. Okay, let's do the next round. So we've got okay, so we need to see the 4th round. Today is the 10th. Okay, so we're going to do the 5th round. Okay, so we had the single crochet, and now this is the Bavarian stitch. So we're going to have to define what this stitch is, and we're going to use this stitch several times. So what we need to do is that we need to do, I don't know what that is called. What is that called? When did we use the Bavarian stitch before? Bavarian stitch, when did we use that? I'm just taking a look when we used that because I actually might have that defined already. Bavarian stitch, the crochet crowd. I'm just looking at Google. When did we use that last? Let me just see if I have the document for that. Bavarian stitch. Treble, back post together. So it's a 4 together trebles. We're just going to take some information here. So that is a 4 together treble right here. So we're going to just start, and we're going to assume that we're here, and we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to chain 3, DC 4 together over the next 4 stitches. Chain 3. Slip stitch in next stitch. Okay, so we're going to chain 3, double crochet 4 together, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then chain 3 and slip stitch in the next. Got it? Can it be that simple? No way. I think it is that simple. Is it that simple? The orbs of light we did, yes, we did. You're writing that based on looking at the graph. Yes, I wrote the graph. So we're going to repeat from asterisk. I think that's honestly around. I think that's all I have to do. And how many times does it appear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Repeat around, join. So there's going to be 8 DC 4 together petals. Launch set number 11. Okay, so now we're going to begin again. So 6th round. So we're here. So this does not exist. Okay, this is going to get complicated. So now we're going to double crochet in top of DC 4 together, period. 3 double in same top, same stitch. Hang on. I'm overcomplicating that. I'm adding foreplay. There's 4 double crochet in next top of DC, in next DC 4 together stitch. Chain 1, 4 double crochet, in same DC 4 together stitch. So it went in, chain 1 and down, slip stitch in next slip stitch. Okay, so I've got foreplay going on here. So if you're late to the party, that means I'm being too wordy. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say 4 double crochet, chain 1, 4 double crochet, all in next, and therefore I get rid of all this crap. So we're coming around, slip stitch in the next. Repeat from asterisks around, join. So there will be 4 petals. Oh, sorry, there will be 8 petals. Okay, so samurai stitches, samurais. So I did do a Bavarian square stitch once. So I wanted to figure out how to make it go round. Okay, so we're gonna do 7th round. And Daniel is bothering me. Just 1 second. Where did I put it? 1 second. Oh. Okay. The dog has to go to the vet. She has a painkiller shot, cortisone or something. Just stand by for a few moments. I know. You're a noisy little girl. Okay. Okay, so 7th round. Yeah, so puppy dog goes to that once a month. She won't even get out of the damn car, so they have to go and treat her in the back of the car. She's 130 pounds, and you don't tell a woman what to do. Okay. So we need to get to this point here. We end down here, but we need to start up here. So we need to break. Okay. Okay. And so we need to assign our color. And with B is the color. A, B, C, D, E, F. Those are colors. With B, we are going to, we need to attach with a slip stitch. All right, let's keep that simple. Join with slip stitch to any chain one space. There's only chain one spaces at the tops of these petals. And then we are going to chain a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to start putting that into brackets. Chain 5. And we need to do it 8 double crochet together. Eight double crochet, 8 together. Eight double crochet together using next 8 DC. Oh, not using over next 8 double crochet stitches. Chain 5. Slip stitch in next. And next chain 1 space. So it's not a bracket, it's an asterisk. Repeat from around. We're going to join. Actually, we're not joining. If we end up with a slip stitch, we end with a slip stitch. There is no join, because that's at the end of the instruction. Slip stitch in the next chain 1. That is the end. Right there. 6. Do we actually join it? Slips. We don't actually join. Okay. And so how many underside ones are there going to be? There's going to be 1, 2, 3. There's still 8. So there's going to be 8 DC, 8 together stitches. Okay, 8th round. Okay, so we're currently here. So we need to do all of this. So this is actually a full Bavarian, but it's been altered to make it work. Okay, so we need to do the following. We need to give it 2 treble, period, 2 double, period, chain 1, 4 double, chain 1, 2 double, period, 2 treble, all in. So 2 treble, 2 double, chain 1, 4 double, chain 1, 2 double, 4 treble, all in next DC 8 together, stitch, slip stitch in next slip stitch, repeat from around, and so this here will be the asterisks. And we're not going to join because the slip stitch is the final. So there is going to be a total of, what, I'm just going to say 8 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 petals. What I'm going to do here is that we're going to say petal made, and we're going to do that in italic so that we can get that. So we should do that over here too. Petal made. In italic. The italic is just calling to what this would be when you say 8 petals. Okay, and that was the 8th round. So we're currently on this black one right here. So now what we have to do is this one is going to be a pain in my ass. Okay, deep breath, number 9. 9, there's actually, it starts dividing off to create more space. So 9, we have a full one of these. So we already have that done down here, but we have this from up. Okay, so let's see where we are. So if we stop here, we need to break B. So we joined it with B, we broke B because we have to start in a new spot. So we're going to start let's start right here. So we need to get the instruction that we did for that. So that was round 1, 2, 3. That was round number 4. So it was 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let me just make sure of that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so we need round number 4. Chain 3, double crochet over the next thing. So we need a portion of this. And we also need a portion of the big boy here, the DC 8 together, which is right here. Okay, so let's, okay, so we need to join with A, which is the color, join to the first chain 1 space of the next petal. So we would have finished here. So I'm going to tell customers they need to start right here at the first chain one space. So we're then going to chain 3, double crochet 4 together over the next 4 stitches. I am going to call that by name over the next 4 double crochet. Let me just see that. Over the next 4 stitches, I'm going to call that over the next 4 single crochet. Slip stitch in the next single crochet. We're going to call that by name. Over the next 4 double crochet, slip stitch in the next chain 1 space. So chain 3, 4 double crochet together. Over the next 4 double crochet, chain 3 comes down, slip stitch to the next chain 1 space. We then chain 5, double crochet 8 together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my God! You know what I'm not doing? Double crochet 8 to double crochet back post. It's Bavarian. It's back post. Back post over the next 8 stitches. Yes. Over the next 8 double crochet. Yes. So we have that. And then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then slip stitch in the next chain 1 space. And we are going to repeat that around. Repeat from around. We do not need to join it because we're going to end up with a slip stitch right where we started. Okay. So now this is going to be the Bavarian fan, but for reasons that I needed to do, I didn't want to make this look messy, so I pushed arrows to show where to go. And so we're going to have how many? So we have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 8 DC back posts, 8 together, and 8 DC 4. Oh my God! You know what? That should be a back post. DC back post. This should be a back post because of where it is. It's not here, but it is here. I'll have to change that on the diagram. Okay, so we're going to move up here. We are currently sitting here, so we are going to have to do the 9th round. 9th round. So we're currently right here, so we're going to have an asterisk. So we're going to say 4 double crochet, chain 1, 4 double crochet, and next DC 4 together, DC back post 4 together, stitch. And now this one has a treble, so then we're going to have to call this out by name. So we're going to have to say 2 treble, 2 double, chain 1, 2 double, 2 treble, all in next. And this is all going to be in the back post, all in the next DC back post, 8 together, 8, together, stitch. And so that's all we're going to do. Oh, you know what's missing? We have to slip stitch down. Slip stitch in next, slip stitch, and slips. And next slip stitch. And we're going to repeat from that around. So we're now going to have a total of, I'm going to call that petal made. Copy, and this is also petal made. So we're going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's going to be 16 petals. Okay, 10th round is now going to do these things. So we're going to end up right here. I'm going to break this color. Break A. And reason I'm breaking it is that if I start with a fresh color, I can start here with a nicer, cleaner look than I can doing this extended stitch. So we're going to 10th round, we're going to start here. And we're just going to say with B, join with slip stitch to any chain one space. So it can be either, it won't matter. So it can be this space or this space. One single crochet in same stitch, same space as join. Chain 3. One double crochet in next slip stitch, which is down here. And then chain 3. So then the repeat starts here. So one single crochet in next chain 1 space, chain 3, 1 double crochet in next slip stitch, chain 3, repeat from around, join. And so there is going to be how many spaces? Start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32 spaces. Okay, we're going to go on to the 11th round. So I might use this as an individual doily in the future. I'm not really sure yet. So 11th round is right here. And we are going to be ending right here. So we're going to chain 1, 1 single crochet in same stitch as join. then 3 single crochet in next chain 3 space, 1 single crochet in next DC, 3 single crochet in next chain 3 space, and now the repeat starts here. So 1 single crochet in next single crochet, and we'll copy that. And we're going to repeat that around, repeat from around join. And according to my notes, there was 128 single crochet. And let me just verify that. What is 32 times 4? 32 times 4, 128. So that's right. Okay, next round, we're going to do an increase. So 12th. Round, chain 1, and we're doing an increase, so we're going to put chain 1, 2 single crochet in same stitch as join, and then how many is there? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So 1 single crochet in next 15 single crochet, and then the repeat starts here. So 2 single crochet in next single crochet, 1 single crochet in next 15 single crochet, repeat from that around and join. And so if there's 8 pieces of pie, which there is, so 128 plus 8 is 136. It's the same number, it's good. And then we're going to break this color too. Break B. Okay, 13th round. Okay, these are clusters, but they're not the same clusters as we did here. So let's get the cluster. So these clusters were a 3 DC cluster. I want a 2D cluster instead. So let me just do that. So these are 2 double crochet clusters. These were 3. So let's just place that in. And let's change the meeting. So we got 2 DC clusters. So beginning is chain 2, yarn over, pull through the stitch and pull through, pull 2 loops. Okay, and there's 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 2 loops. So we have the beginning cluster. I have to, because there's 2 different kinds of clusters, I'm going to have to call those out by name. Cluster 3DC. I'm just trying to be consistent. Okay. And so then the cluster then would be cluster 2DC, yarn over and insert into the stitch, pull through. And we're only going to do that 2 times. There will be 3 loops on the hook and yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so we're going to start off here, and we're going to just start anywhere. We're going to start right here, and we're going to start with the beginning 2 DC cluster, chain 1, and the repeat starts here. So we're going to say cluster 2DC, chain 1, repeat from around, and join. And what we're going to do then is that there is going to be a total of 68. So if there was 32 spaces, so 136 divided by 2 is what? 136 divided by 2 is 68. So if this was every other stitch, there's 68. 68 clusters and 68 chain 1 spaces. And then finally, the last round will be number 14. So 14th round is just this one right here. So we're going to chain 1. No, we're not. We need to slip, if we are here and we joined, we need to slip stitch over 1. Slip stitch to next chain 1 space, chain 1, 1 single crochet, bracket, 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1 single crochet, all in same chain 1 space. And then the repeat would start here. 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1 single crochet in next chain 1 space. Repeat from that around and join. And so there will be 68. Chain 3 loops. That's it. Oh my God. Daniel's messaging. The vet bill just came to $500. I'm telling you, in my next life, I'm going to be a vet. How long was he gone? The appointment was 10 minutes long. Okay, and now I'm just putting everything together. So now this pattern is now memorialized because I don't know what I'm going to do with this pattern. I almost see this as very Christmassy. So I'm just putting everything together. And so if I'm ever looking for something for my future, this pattern is now written. But it needs something more. It's good as a doily, but I think it needs something more. And then we can get rid of the stuff out. And we are going to just change our yarn was Karen 1 pound. Yeah, we're going to say it was Karen 1 pound. I can never remember the information for that. Going over to Yarn Inspirations. So people email a lot. How much yardage is in a ball? Well, go over to Yarn Inspirations and look. Karen 1 pound. So in the technical details on yarninspirations.com, they have that information there. So if you go and look at a yarn, if you go to the features, I got it. It's right here. And because they're Canadian, I think they use the metric first. There you go. So we got the Karen 1 pound. Contrast was soft gray mix. And the second one was white. And what I'm going to do is that we used a 5mm hook, which I did, and we're going to check the gauge. So I have a list of all the gauges that I've ever done, and I have that for Cairn 1 pound. Cairn 1 pound for me is right there. So my gauge for Cairn 1 pound is that. And this measures 14 inches. And notes, I don't have any. And then abbreviations, we are going to get rid of a lot of stuff. We're getting two together. We don't have any of those. We don't use back loops. We do use chains. We did use clusters, so let me get this clusters information. That was cluster 3T. Okay, that was that. And then we have the one that we used at the end. So that can come out of the pattern. And the abbreviations key needs to stay in alphabetical order. So that one, the beginning to the cluster has to move up. So that comes out. Cluster to TC. This one moves up. And out. Okay, and so we have DC 2 together, nope, but we have DC 4 together. We also have DC back post 4 together. Double crochet 4, double crochet 4 together using back post. We also have We also have 8 together. Okay, we don't have these. So we're going to just leave the abbreviation for DC back post in. We don't ever use a front post. We don't use clusters, extendeds, or front loops. We don't actually use half double crochet on this, or even a half double crochet join. We don't use picots. Popcorns we never used. Right side single crochet we used. Slip stitch, small popcorn we didn't use. Spaces we did. Stitches, yes. We did not use standings. Or popcorns. There you go. Done. Counting tips. We're going to get rid of that one out. We don't need that. Okay. Okay, these guys are coming out. They're now in the abbreviations. And these guys can come out. So the pattern ends up really truly only being 2 pages, 12th round. Yeah, so I think that's it. And there you go. So it's now been memorialized. So I now have it in case I want to use this in the future. Criteria, I don't really have one, but I'll leave it and we'll go from there. So basically, crochet, if I just do a diagram, people have a bird, but if I do words, people that really need a visual, the diagram will help them. And if they don't speak English, the diagram will help them. So it's just a matter of trying to figure out what is the proper balance per step without actually, you know, inventing a new pyramid or something. So that's kind of like just bebopping away here on our programming in order to make this work. And I want to do another sample. So my goal now is to take this sample and push it a little bit further. What else can I do with it? Daniel would like to see some stitches that he suggested for me, but I'm not going to say what it is because I don't know if I'm going to do it. And that's it for now. So thank you so much for spending some time with me this morning as I'm crocheting away, and we'll see you again another time.